Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, October 25th, 2022 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I nurture my broken pieces and also my inner phoenix. Today we have our first eclipse of this eclipse season. So generally eclipses come in a pair. Two. Sometimes we have more, but this time we just have two eclipses, and we are here at the first eclipse of this second eclipse season of 2022. And Alexa's excited about it. Alexa, stop. So let's dig into this energy. Now, I mentioned some of what was going on in the astro for today in yesterday's scope, and to get a more well-rounded picture, if you have not watched yesterday's, you may want to do that. Let me start with the energy of Scorpio. This eclipse in Scorpio engages the Scorpio in all of us. There is an astro book that I never read, and I wish I had. I wish I had bought it. My friend and I used to love hanging out at Borders, so Borders books, if you remember that. And I saw it there, and it was called You Are All the Signs. And I always thought it was such a cool book, and I never got it, and I've looked for it, and I've never been able to find it. And basically what it's saying is, like, you have all of the energy of each of the signs within you. Like, they're basically like archetypes, and we have like a certain percentage. So of course, if you have like the sun and moon and, you know, whatnot in certain signs, you're going to have more lessons, more of that energy. However, even if you don't have anything in Scorpio or anything in the 8th house, there is still the Scorpio archetype, that energy, the energy of, I will just say the Phoenix just for this right now, that does exist within you. And so all of us in this Scorpio eclipse are calling on our inner Scorpio that can go to the bottom layers, that can go to the broken pieces and hold space in that place. And yet, Scorpio is not just about hitting the bottom. Scorpio is the Phoenix. It is about knowing how to rise again. And so, in this energy of this eclipse, 2 degrees Scorpio, we are nurturing both the places where we hit the bottom, the places where we feel broken, and our inherent ability to rise again. So this energy has the moon, the sun, and Venus all conjunct, all working together right there at 2 degrees Scorpio. This is really powerful to have Venus as part of it. I think Venus, for the most part, is softening the blow. However, Venus being a part of it brings to the Phoenix process our worth issues, our money issues, issues around value, issues around our gifts, potentially issues around relationships. So there's a place within this eclipse that holds space for bottoming out around any of these energies. And your work is being honest with yourself, where you may feel like you are bottoming out in regards to any of these things. In the world right now, money is such an issue. So recognizing any fears, any trauma, any challenges that you're having around that, or like I mentioned, any of those other energies would be really powerful right now in this Scorpio energy. Scorpio is where, again, we notice where we feel puny, where we feel less than, where we have the fears, where we have the issues, where we have the trauma, but where we can ultimately empower ourselves. Now, we are in the dark of the moon. This is a solar eclipse. It's partial, but this means the shadow is kind of covering the light. And so this is a call to notice our shadows in and through this. Notice the shadows that are coming up. So the other day I had major anxiety, and that anxiety is tied to some really deep fears. And so my work in that is to be present in that. One of the cards that I have, if I can find where I put them, is the Be Here Now card. So we'll see if I can find them at some point in this. Good thing I remember what they are, because I don't remember where they are. But we have the Be Here Now card, being present in and through this energy. The Sabian symbol for this eclipse at 2 degrees is a delicate bottle of perfume lies broken, releasing its fragrance. And so there are energies of forgiveness that are meant to be in this energy for where we have found ourselves broken. And it's also recognizing the necessity at times of being broken. And I said this yesterday, we're all broken, that's how the light gets in. I think I'm going to take this opportunity right now to read the Aquilanda, the the goddess of never not broken card, because I do think it's very powerful what it says. Many of us exert tremendous energy in the effort to not break or fall apart. We resist our grief and our heartbreak. We deny the need to change until the choice no longer feels like it's ours. Something sideswipes us in our ordinary life and shatters who we think we are and how we identify ourselves. Here's what Aquilanda reminds us. Vulnerability is our greatest strength. If we are always broken, we can never break. Aquilanda is the most intimate and personally powerful goddess because she meets us in those moments when we can feel most alone, most exposed, and most afraid. She models how to thrive in the midst of change. She uses pain to joyfully and purposefully transform. She sees everything as an opportunity to release what isn't serving her, and she knows that being broken isn't a failure or something we should avoid. It's actually the whole point. We are here to let our ideas of ourselves go up in flames so that beneath the ashes, the soft core of who we truly are arises. And so that we remember it's not the heart that ever breaks, it is the ego. The heart only ever expands. And there's a few little things in here. There's the soul voice meditation, which is what heartbreak can I see now as an opportunity to expand. And the intention for this card, everything happens for my liberation. I choose to only become more love. And somebody asked, it is from the Divine Feminine Oracle by Megan Watterson. So, powerful energy in this eclipse that we're meant to embrace. And this is the key to the eclipse. This is not just, okay, we have the eclipse, it's over, kind of energy. Eclipses do have an extension period. They really do work for the next 6 months. So with this being a new moon, maybe this is a time to seed intention to heal and tend to broken places within ourselves that we've never been able to approach. To call on the power of our own personal healing, nurturing the Phoenix process to tend to these energies, and ask for that Venus grace. Part of the grace is in Venus is that nurturing energy and the intuition. It's like, not that Venus is mother energy, but it can have that mother's intuition that knows how to naturally tend to something without necessarily needing somebody else to tell you what it is that you're meant to do. I'm really feeling that very strongly in and through this. I was looking to see, like, where does this eclipse connect back to? And I really couldn't find anything that was at 2 degrees, but I did find an eclipse back in 2014 that was in Scorpio. It was 4 degrees, so it was close. And I definitely can feel some ties to what I was feeling back in 2014 when we had that eclipse. So tune back in. Do you have any like similar patterns that you're experiencing to that time now, in yourself now? So besides this eclipse energy that we have going on, we also, I guess I should tell you the time it's at. Okay. Let's dig into the time really fast. New moon. The new moon happens at 3:49 a.m. Pacific time. And the partial solar eclipse, it reaches its peak at 4 a.m. Pacific time. Apparently, the eclipse is visible in Europe, Northeast Africa, the Mideast, and Southwest Asia. And there's a cool website, timeanddate.com, where you can watch eclipses a lot of times. And it also tell you, like, hey, you can see it from here or you can't see it from there. So check that out. All right, so like I said, besides that energy today, which is happening fairly early in the day, Moon and Venus, their direct conjunction will happen at 5 a.m. So Again, Pacific time. So we may wake up feeling some hidden psyche, hidden energies around Venus, our worth, money, value, relationships, all of that potentially rising, potentially coming up. Be willing to go there and be willing to hold yourself there. The only other really interesting energy today is Mercury and Neptune in an inconjunct. What time is that? That's going to be like 9:30 a.m. So an inconjunct, not really seeing eye to eye. Mercury finishing up in Libra and Neptune in Pisces. And so both of these signs can I guess what I'm hearing right now is like a potential for the la-di-da, like, I'm going to avoid it. And they both might try to avoid it in their own way. And I feel like both of these energies are going to actually have you running smack dab into it. I think the thing to be aware of is, I'm getting two layers of this again. Watch your illusion and use your illusion. Sometimes we think we will deal with something. Sometimes we will brush something under the rug. And be like, oh, I feel better now. And meanwhile, we have like that pit in our stomach. Watch for that in anything that's coming up. I would think as well, just watch for this in connecting to anybody else right now. I feel like this is such a deep personal process. It may be that you really have to tune into your own process and not necessarily get information from somebody else right now. So really look to yourself, because you may get kind of like sent around a labyrinth, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right? But you may get sent around a labyrinth if you do try to rely on somebody else in and through this. And this may be why I have the aloneness card, the hermit card, really spending some time alone with yourself, being here now in this energy. I also have the understanding card in reverse, and it may be that, you know, not everybody can always understand our wounds. And again, sometimes that can actually add to the pain when we're trying to express to somebody, hey, this hurts me, and they can't show up for you, or it can't get, you know, they can't get there for you. So you may have to just really hold that space for yourself in this energy. But I do have the Innocence card, the Sun card. And so there's hope. There is sun shining on the other side of this. Yes, we are entering the eclipse corridor. Yes, there will be intensity. And yet, more good times are on the way, even as we tend to our broken pieces. The final card that I have is the Ripeness card. You are ready for this process. The Ripeness card is also things preparing to come into fruition. And I really find that the more we dig into these layers for ourselves, doors open up. So keep that in mind, even if you are feeling the painful process before the phoenix, doors will open up for you. So I'm leaving that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and honor your values. Namaste.